Hey everyone, I'd like to welcome you to Module 1 of The Social Marketer. So the purpose of this module is really to give you an introduction into social media, explain to you why you should be using social media in the first place, and explain to you what really is social media as well. So just to clarify a few things as to what social media is and what it isn't, and really give you an overview of the bigger picture of when it comes to social media and how all the different modules that we've put together, the modules that you can actually see on your screen right now, how they all fit together so that you can get the best results for your accountancy firm when you're actually using social media. So in this video, I'm going to start off by answering what really is social media. And when you think about the phrase social media, think about what it's actually saying in the phrase itself. So social tends to mean having conversations with people. Someone who is social is someone that speaks to a lot of people and listens to what they have to say as well. So it's not always them talking. Someone who is good at speaking listens. Sometimes they listen a lot more than they speak. And also media, that could be many different forms of getting a message across. So the radio could be a form of media, the TV could be another form of media. The internet in itself is a form of media. And within the internet, within radio, within TV, you have different channels. So for example, on the internet, and especially when it comes to social media, there's many different channels of media that you can use, such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. So it's important to keep that in mind when we go through the definition of what social media really is. So let's start off by explaining what social media is not, just so you can make the comparison. So social media is not advertising in the traditional sense. It's not a matter of you basically creating an advert to constantly push your product in front of people. If you imagine again social media as if you were having a conversation with someone, if all you do is constantly try to sell, that conversation isn't going to go really well. The other person will probably find you annoying and probably won't want to speak to you. And it's the same principles when we take social media from that real life, from the offline environment to the online environment as well. It's also worth mentioning that a lot of brands and businesses are starting to realize that advertising in the traditional sense is not as effective as it used to be. And partly the reason why that is true is because a lot of people are actually becoming advertisement blind. So you might have heard of this before, but a lot of people are now just becoming blind to adverts. So whenever they see an advert on TV, they just mute the TV or they just skip the channel. Whenever they see an advert on the internet, they just completely ignore it. There's a lot of people that actually do not see adverts on the internet, and I am actually one of them. Unless I'm actually looking for adverts, I'm not going to see any adverts. My mind has just automatically blocked that out. And there's a lot of research and psychology that has gone into this and gone into the fact that people are becoming more and more advertisement blind. And it's just worth keeping in mind that this trend is very likely to increase, which is why a lot of big brands and businesses, instead of spending lots and lots of money on traditional advertising, trying to get their message constantly in front of people, they're actually spending a lot of their budgets, instead of on traditional advertising, they're spending it on content. And the example here that we have of Coca-Cola is an excellent example of it's not just Coca-Cola who are doing this, but many other businesses, and you've probably seen this yourself, are actually starting to invest more in content rather than traditional advertising. Because what creating content does is it starts to build up a relationship with people and it starts to build up trust. And in a way, you're actually advertising your brand and your service and what you do, but it doesn't feel like an advertisement. It doesn't feel like you're trying to push and sell what you do to other people. And because of that, people actually read it, people actually look at it, and you end up getting much better results. So if we remember the definition of social media that we just spoke about earlier, thinking about the words social and the word media, it's worth mentioning again that social media isn't just you constantly trying to push and sell what you do to people. So it's not you just talking about yourself all the time and just trying to sell to people. That's not really how social media works. And it's really important that we get that clear from the beginning. But otherwise, everything else that you do moving forward in this program just isn't going to work. Social media is also not just about having a profile on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or any other social media channel and just leaving it there. If you do that, it's a bit like having an amazing room in your house with all this great space and all this potential, but it isn't being used to do anything. So it's just like a big empty room, which isn't really useful or valuable to anyone. So social media is very similar. It's not just a matter of having an account on social media, having an account on LinkedIn or Twitter. You actually need to do something with it, and you need to do something on a more consistent basis, as we'll learn and as we'll teach you throughout the program. So as we've explained a bit more about what social media isn't, let's have a look at how one source defines social media. So this is taken directly from Wikipedia itself. So as you can see, Wikipedia's definition of social media is that social media are computer-mediated tools that allow people to create, share, or exchange information, ideas, and pictures or videos in virtual communities and networks. Now that might be a bit of a mouthful, but it's okay. We can simplify this for you. Social media, in other words, is a conversation that takes place online. So whenever you're doing social media and you're not actually sure what to say or how you should put it, just imagine you're at a business networking event and speak the same way that you would in real life at a business networking event. You can speak the same way online through social media. And the goal is, of course, to not just have any conversations, but have real conversations with people that you can potentially do business with, either now or at some point down the line, or through people that they may know. So hopefully that helps explain a bit more about what social media really is and what it's all about, and also what it's not, so that you can actually have the right principles in your mind when you're going through this program, so that you can get the best results from your social media, and you know what you should and shouldn't be doing, just so it prevents any confusion moving forward. So if you're not sure about what to do or what not to do, just remember these principles, especially the principle that social media is a conversation that takes place online, and that will really help guide a lot of the decisions that you make moving forward. Now, it's also worth mentioning finally that social media, just knowing what social media is on its own, is not going to be enough to get results from this program. So you actually need to have a strategy, you need to have a plan, and you need to take action and implement everything you learn in this program. So we have, as you probably know already, we have 5 core modules that we're going to cover first of all, and this is perfect for beginners. This is just the introduction to social media. This is just covering some base important information that you should know for the foundations of your campaign. And then each module after that goes into more detail as to what you should be doing next for your social media campaign. And it's important that you also do these in order. It'd be great to just jump to generating leads and getting lots of new business, but it doesn't really work like that. There's foundations that you need to create in place before you move on to the bigger and more exciting things. But stick with it, implement everything that you're learning, and go through each module one by one, and you're going to get some great results. And if you do have any questions, or if there's something you're not sure about, just send us an email, or ask us on the community group on Slack, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. And as you probably know as well, we also have live question and answer sessions, so we can always answer any of your questions there live, and do our best to just help you as much as we can, because we really want you to succeed. We really want you to get the best possible results with all of this, and we know that this stuff works. It's just a matter of implementing it, but we definitely want to make sure that we're here every step of the way to help you as much as we can. So if you do get stuck or you're not sure what to do, just send us a message and we'll be sure to help you out.